It's been 1 year since Idaho's first wildlife overpass opened on Highway 21. It was built to help prevent vehicle and animal collisions. Abby Wilt went to the overpass this week to see how it's been going. Abby?
Hunter, the $7.5 million project is proving to be a success. While there aren't exact numbers yet of how many animals have used it, camera footage and physical evidence on the overpass show that Idaho's wildlife are enjoying their new bridge.
It's for all the generations to come of Idahoans, and it's important.
Spanning across Highway 21 just past Lucky Peak Reservoir sits Idaho's one and only wildlife overpass crossing.
This effort is to try to reduce wildlife vehicle collisions in this area of State Highway 21.
The overpass is just north of an existing underpass, which was built in 2010. Both are used for mule deer and elk to safely cross the highway in a stretch that's known for wildlife migrations.
The animals are going back and forth all through late fall, winter, and early spring before they go back to their summer habitat.
And 1 year after completion, Idaho Transportation Department's Scott Rule says it's been a success.
We know that it's been working.
With evidence on cameras that Idaho's four-legged commuters,
These hooves are pretty fresh right here.
are safely using their own personal footbridge.
That's actually a pretty good sign that that's been used pretty recently.
Around 9,000 mule deer and up to 2,400 elk have to cross this stretch of Highway 21 annually. The goal of the wildlife overpass is to reduce vehicle and animal collisions by 80%. In the 1 year since it's been built, there have been 0 vehicle-animal collisions in this stretch.
The stretch was previously known for collisions. ITD says there were 4 serious crashes in the last 5 years on this exact stretch, all involving vehicles and animals.
This specific location was chosen because we knew this was definitely a hot spot.
And it had the higher propensity for wildlife vehicle collisions that we reported on our ITD crash registry.
And neighbors around, well, they agree. Tammy Thornton lives just north of the wildlife crossing and says seeing deer and elk on the route is a normal occurrence.
And every morning they cross from up in the hills to down to go get water. They're crossing right before dusk and then right before the sun goes down.
During those times, neighbors are on high alert.
A lot of people up here know to be cautious, to go slower so they don't hit them.
But even that isn't always enough. Have you had any close calls?
Many in the morning.
Thornton says she thinks the overpass helps, but only for the deer.
As far as the deer, it seems to be working for them. But as far as the elk, I don't think it is.
She says she feels the elk cross more north, closer to her home.
The elk basically hang out here in our neighborhood.
And she might be onto something. Idaho Fish and Game says there are plans to expand the fencing further north to guide wildlife to cross on the bridge.
One of the improvements primarily that we're looking at is improving the fencing and extending the fencing to continue to direct animals to use the overpass structure.
With additional fencing, we're going to get a lot more use of elk on this.
They want to expand the fencing up to milepost 21, adding on an additional 4 miles of secure fencing. Right now, there's only 1 mile of fencing.
It's really about protecting people and protecting animals.
And it's all to keep the wildlife and drivers safe.
These crossing structures are a benefit to both the wildlife and to the motorists that are using this roadway. You know, 1 human life saved is, you can't put a price on that.
And ITD says they are now looking at building a wildlife overpass in eastern Oregon near Rocky Point on US 30. There are 3 proposed crossings, and they should be decided on early in the new year.
What a cool way to preserve animal and wildlife. I love seeing the updates there and look forward to the updates to come. Thank you, Abby.